Good times.
Give me that pineapple whiskey, baby.
Whiskey. Yeah. Okay. What? You all don't want some double oak cherry pineapple? Non-chill filtered
You all
barrel
don't want
strength, single
whiskey that they
barrel.
have to hide behind cherries and pineapples and stuff. Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to, but you probably should. You probably are. Hey, that's why we like you. We are drinking E.H. Taylor, not only E.H. Taylor, not the single barrel, not the small batch, the barrel proof, and the most recent release. And that's pretty cool. But you know what else is pretty cool? How you can support us this week. I'm just going to go with a oldie but a goodie. Tell a friend. You know, honestly, I've said this before. It's one of the best methods of spreading the chill filtered news and the chill filtered gospel is word of mouth. Hence Bryan rap. Hence people like Caleb Olson. I mean, Brian Duncan. Like some of our great listeners. Actually, technically, Ben Klepsig was word of mouth. Like we got some great listeners from word of mouth, and we want more of those. So word of mouth to your friends, everyone, and that's the business this week. Bryan, I'm excited, man. I got you. I officially decided that what I got you for your birthday is going to be probably what I'm going to give you.
You make me feel worried about my gift giving prowess.
No.
You're like you go through iterations, man. He's like, okay, I'm pretty sure that I think
not
I
normally
might try to.
No,
yeah. Well, I remember.
I think you'll like it.
The last time, I think it was Christmas, you were like, I'm not sure I could ever outdo myself ever again with how good my gift for you is. And I'm over here
you remember
like,
what I gave you?
It was the Waterford glasses. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, I can assure you that this beats Waterford glasses.
What? Okay, wow.
Yeah.
You continue to outdo yourself.
Yeah, but it won't last forever. I can assure you of that.
Right.
That's funny that I said that. But yes, it's one of those things where I'm like really excited. And I guess what, like 2 more episodes from now, we'll probably have you open it and I'll send it over.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Because what your birthday's on what day of the week? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't even know what day of the week. Yeah.
You should know.
June 16 is on a Monday in 2025.
Perfect. So that means that is 2 weeks. Yeah. So we got to open it in 2 episodes.
Cool.
Let me say this. I don't like to give too much away.
Yeah.
But I basically had to tell someone that I was able to find something. And I was like, Max, check this out. And so Max knows, and Max better shut his mouth. I know he will. He's a good man.
He's also a good gift giver too, I believe. He
is. He was like number 1 for one of us. Yeah. He gave like the candle and the like Zen garden thing, and he also, I think he gave us a bottle too, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, I can't remember bottle wise, but I remember he gave me a Walter Mitty poster because he remembered that.
Nice.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty is one of my favorite.
Dude understands good gifts, as we do here.
So he understands to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, exactly. He knows how to keep his mouth shut. And that's all I'm going to say. I will try to refrain from talking about it next week.
Well, I remember with the Waterford glasses, it was an ordeal because they don't make them anymore. I think you happened to find them on like eBay.
I found them on eBay. Yeah. Vintage.
Yeah. And yet somehow you outdid yourself again.
This time. It won't last forever. I can assure you that. Go ahead.
I think I'm good for you too. It's something that kind of worked out that I'm pretty sure you've never owned.
Okay.
You may have only had once or twice, if that. Okay. But it's in a good gift territory because it is it is something that I don't think you would buy yourself, but I think it's something that you'll appreciate a lot. So yeah.
So with I started narrowing down in my mind as you were saying something that you've maybe or that you probably don't have, and that something else, and I was like, obviously it's poop in a box. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, obviously. I thought you were gonna say like Double Eagle Very Rare or something.
No, one thing came to mind, but I'm like, I don't want to like be that guy that's like, you obviously bought me Pappy 20, and then it's like not a letdown, but it's like a jokingly letdown. But yeah,
right, yeah. You open it and you're like, oh, I thought there was gonna be a Pappy 20 in here.
Yeah, this sucks. No, I'm kidding. I'm excited then. Yeah, mine's only 3 weeks after yours. So 4 weeks after yours ish. So.
Yep. A couple new bottle acquisitions recently.
Dude, that's what I was going to ask you when I let you go first.
Well, so actually, first off, I'm doing a splitterooski with Bryan Duncan here. We managed to get the 2025 13th Colony Cask Strength.
Nice. How'd you get it?
So it was on Seal. It wasn't Seal Box.
Okay.
Oh, it was Bourbon Outfitter.
Seals?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was Bourbon Outfitter, and like after shipping, I was like, I'm not gonna buy that for myself. But then I was like, Bryan Duncan, and I texted him real quick, and I was like, hey, if I got this, would you want to split it with me? And he was like, of course, yes. So we're just both half in on it, and that'll be enough for episode and everything too. So
how do you split it? Like, how does that go? Do you keep the bottle and pour him 375? Oh, look at that. You pour him 375.
He can have the bottle. I don't really care about the bottle. So I'll pour myself one of these 375s back here. And
do you want to talk about your other 13 Colony thing recently?
No.
Okay.
We will wait until that's in hand.
Yeah. We'll see if the fruition comes.
I know. Oh yeah. We don't want to count the chickens before they
exactly.
Happen. But I was at Total Wine recently.
Ooh, a black box.
Yesterday?
Ooh,
yesterday. The new little book. So I didn't even know this was coming. Soon
I heard nothing about it. Yeah.
I went to Total Wine yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, I got the new little book in," and looked, and sure enough, it's the I think the base component of it is 8-year rye. 8-year Kentucky straight rye whiskey. So then it's kind of the opposite. It's the opposite burr rye from the last one. The last one, the base component was a high rye bourbon, with the rest being rye. And then now this one is a rye with all the rest being bourbon. So it'll be an interesting comparison between the two. And I figured it would probably make for a good episode. If we even did the last little book, it was probably a whole year ago. So I don't even remember.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
The Infinite was quite a bit ago.
Oh yeah, the Infinite. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I still have a smidge of that left. I need to give it another go.
Did you readjust your thoughts on that one? I know a lot of people did, but you say same deal, flavorless.
I have sipped it 2 or 3 times, and every time I haven't done it in a blind, but every time I've sipped it, I've been like, I just don't see. Like there's nothing that's like bad about this.
It's just nothing good or nothing great.
Yeah, right. There's nothing about it that makes me say, oh damn, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's just fine. And the way that it's built and the box that it's in and the price that it costs, like it shouldn't be just fine for that for me.
I agree. Yeah. What was the retail of the most recent one you got? Of
the little book here was $160. Yeah, at Total Wine. I know
that'd be a hard one for me to bite.
I know. My buddy Josh wanted one. They're usually a little hard to come by in Texas, and I was like, man, I may as well just get myself one too. So I went ahead and grabbed it.
Nice. So it wasn't like a limit at Total Wine.
No, correct. Yeah. I even asked, I was like, I want to respect the system, but and he was like, no, there's no limit. They if I remember correctly, the last little books that came through, they sat on the shelf for 2-3 weeks. People didn't just
Oh
scoop
wow.
them all up. It might also be because I think Arizona's pricing is a little higher than everywhere else.
Gotcha.
So no one's rushing out to scoop up a bunch of $160 little books.
That makes sense. What are you entry buzzing on?
Yeah, so here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Batch 10, I think.
Okay. What's the proofage on that John piece? Let me guess.
Yeah.
127.3.
Yep. And what's the proof of the one we're drinking today?
127.3.
Yep.
How do you tell the difference then?
There's
Did
a
you
laser
put a label on it? Oh, gotcha. That makes more sense.
There's the laser code. It says L21 on here because it was bottled in 2021. And of course, the batch 13 says L24. In addition to that, though, I've got a little sample here. This looks like Brian Duncan handwriting. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a Brian Duncan label right there. Batch 12, baby.
Yeah, batch 12. So I've got a little pour of batch 10 and batch 12, and then I'll pour the real deal when we get going. I used to have an 11. But I don't think I held like a reserve sample of that. I didn't dig through. I was running really late today, but yeah. I could have dug for a batch 11 too, so I could drink 4 in a row, but nah, probably a little much anyway. So
yeah, you got work to do.
I know. Yeah.
Shouldn't be coughing on the pour that I just poured.
So yeah, what you got?
I have non-barrel proof E.H. Taylor barrel proof, which is not, it could be like small batch or single barrel, but I just went Buffalo Trace, which is supposed to be 6 to 8 years, which is apparently what EHTBP is about in age. So it's just 90 proof E.H. Taylor barrel proof. So
nice.
Yeah.
Man, I can tell you up front here. Difference between 10 and 12. 12 drinks way hotter and 10 drinks way more fruity and pleasant.
Makes sense. Those 3 proof points.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. What do you got going on this weekend? Anything fun?
No, I think this weekend's a chill, relax weekend. I got my calendar up in front of me here. What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. A drink along on Saturday.
That's right.
So
you know what I got?
When this came out, we had a drink along on Saturday.
Heyo, we were drinking the Dancing Goat, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. We did have a good
Google.
Nice.
When I say "ayo," Google gets set off.
That's
sometimes
weird.
Because it's like, "Hey, poodle." You know,
I think I called Emma Gooby the other day. I call her Gooby all the time, but I said like, "Hey Gooby," and of course the Google's keyed up, and they'll probably say something right now. But anyway, good Memorial Day though. Also had cleaned the backyard out, got the pool all ready. Actually swam in it. It wasn't as cold as I was afraid it was going to be. So it was all good. It was all good. What about you? What'd you do
as you're cleaning?
No, actually, this house, luckily, knock on wood, has been a very scorpion-free house for the last 7 years.
Do you get a service for that, or do you just?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, every other month.
That's what we did. Yeah,
yeah,
and it worked like a charm when we did it. Yeah,
right.
I just wish we could do it again. You know what I'm saying?
Just wish. You mean move back to Arizona?
That's right. I wish we could.
Yeah. So Memorial Day and next weekend, what's going on? What are you doing?
Memorial Day we had like a get together with like a cookout with some friends, and that was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then Gray was like hilarious, but also very naughty. Let's just put it that way. She was emotionally defiant and that was not good, but she's so cute when she's defiant. Like when she's like, it's just funny. Like you're like, she's just like throwing things on the ground. Like, I don't care. And she's a hoot, man. And so it's funny because Beck is very different in her when she is defiant. Like she's like, and like, deals with it longer. But Gray is like short bursts. And yeah, she's a hoot, man. Like, it's funny to watch because she'll get over it really, really quick. So you're like, should I be concerned? Maybe I should. But she's a hoot, man. So
nice. Yeah.
And then this weekend, my parents are coming in tomorrow.
That's
so
right.
I'm excited.
Nice.
Yeah, they're arriving about 24 hours from now, and they're gonna put up with me putting on a. Actually, the nice thing is tomorrow, Saturday, or I'm sorry, on Saturday. Not today's. We're recording on a Thursday. They're gonna watch the babies and let us do a little date night, which is fun for them and fun for us for sure.
Nice.
But we're going to right after the drink along. We'll probably be going to get a French meal at a French restaurant in Richmond.
Fun.
And then we're going to go to a jazz like cafe, not a jazz cafe, like a jazz bar basically, and just listen to some jazz live, and as long as we want to, and then we'll come back home.
Awesome.
So that should be fun.
Sounds
I'm looking
good.
forward to that. Just chilling, getting a drink, and listen to some jazz.
Nice. That'll be good.
Yeah. So let's send it a break. We'll come on back. We'll read some history. I will read some history. And we'll see you guys on the other side. This episode is brought to you by our very first Patreon supporter, Caleb Olson from Wisconsin.
The OG chill filter backer, the founding Dramfather.
I still remember the day he signed up. The clouds parted, the angels poured neat pours, and a bald eagle cried single malt tears.
He didn't just support us, he believed in us, even when our audio sounded like it was recorded in a broom closet under a laundromat.
True story. Caleb once nosed a whiskey so hard, the whiskey gave him tasting notes.
Hints of flannel honesty and a touch of aged loyalty.
Caleb, you are and forever will be the cornerstone of our Patreon. You walked so the rest of us could stumble after one too many cast strength pours.
Raise a glass to Caleb, the day one, the Dram Whisperer, the pride of Wisconsin.
Cheers. And we're back. Some quick notes to get to before I get to the history. We had a good drink along, or at least I assume we did, last Saturday, 2 days ago. Hope you all had a great time as well. Another one coming up in June. This will be the last of our 3 in a row, and that one will be Driftless Glen, a single barrel, I believe 8-year cast strength rye, and I'm excited for that. And thanks to Ben Klepsig, we were able to score that pour. And then, so the next round of 3, Bryan and I have secured enough for full pours or full 2-ounce, samples of 2, and they're gonna be bangers. Like, I am very excited about the next round, but we are missing 1 out of the 3. And so if you find yourself something that you are excited to maybe share, if you find 2 or 3 bottles of it, let us know. Maybe we can either take it off your hands or find a way where we can get it into our hands otherwise. So shout out to those who've done that. For example, Ben Klepsig. So we're drinking today Colonel E.H. Taylor barrel proof bourbon, which I have to say now, batch 13. Ooh, a tube. This is not our first EHTBP on the podcast. Actually, we first featured batch 8 on episode 100, which I believe was the episode that featured the phrase "a trench of swampy goodness."
That's right.
And then on episode 137, we featured batch 7. We went back in time. And somewhat recently, we actually had the barrel proof rye, which is very different, but that was episode 330. But I thought we might talk about some quick history of Edmund Haynes Taylor and just the EHT barrel proof line. So here we go. Let's talk about the legacy of Colonel E.H. Taylor Jr. Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor was a pivotal figure in the bourbon industry. He really was, especially during the 19th century, the late 19th century. He was instrumental in modernizing bourbon production and was a strong advocate for quality standards. So much so that he actually became like, I think it was a state senator or something like that.
Oh, wow. That's
For
cool.
Kentucky, but maybe he was like a full out senator. I forget at this point, like a, country senator, whatever they call it. He played a significant role in the passage of the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897, the first federal legislation to ensure the quality and authenticity of American whiskey. Big deal. Big deal. This was before the 64 rules. This was the Bottled and Bond Act. Taylor's commitment to excellence and innovation laid the foundation for many of the practices still used in bourbon production today. Very true, very influential, very cool guy. Let's talk about the production details of the E.H. Taylor barrel proof line. It is made at Buffalo Trace Distillery, even though it might say on the label Old Fashioned Copper Distillery or Old Fire Copper Distillery.
Yeah. Which one is it?
I want to say it's Fire, if I were to guess.
Whichever one I thought it was, I was wrong. I just remember being wrong, but I don't remember which way I was wrong.
Your tube will say.
Hold on, let me check my tube. Old Fashioned Copper Distillery. Yeah.
The mash bill. Hey. The mash bill is mash bill number 1. Same mash bill as Buffalo Trace, George T. Stagg, Eagle Rare, other Colonel E.H. Taylor, like small batch and single barrel, stuff like that. The proof is always barrel proof, as it says in the title. It's uncut and unfiltered, and with proofs varying always, except for batch 10 and batch 13 or whatever.
Right.
But always exceeding 127. Aging. There's no official age statement, and it's believed to be about between like 6 to 8 years. And it comes out once a year. And last year, 2024, was batch 13. So, by batch, let's do it. Started in 2012. Here's the breakdown of batches and proofs. Batch 1, 134.5. 2, 135.4, which I believe is the highest ever. 135.4 in 2013. Batch 3 was 129. Batch 4, 127.2, lowest proof ever. Batch 5 was 127.5. Batch 6 was 128.1, 7, 129.7. And then it goes batch 8, 129.3, batch 9, 130.3, batch 10, 127.3, batch 11, 129.0. Batch 12 was 131.1, a banger compared to most recent years. And then what we're drinking today, batch 13, was 127.3.
What'd you say the lowest proof ever was?
127.1?
No,
127.2. And that was batch 4.
So we're 0.1 off the lowest proof ever here. Nice.
Yeah, we're tied for second lowest proof ever this episode. Comes in a cool tube, as Bryan showed. How'd you find this bottle, Bryan? I'm curious.
Man, I was thinking about this the other day. I don't remember, but
Nice.
I do remember that I've never found one at a store for a reasonable price. So I must have, you know what? I think Brian Duncan actually might have picked up a bunch of these and let me have one. That might have been a
baller
friend situation there. But I know I've traded, like, I think I did a trade for the 10, the batch 10, and the 11, I guess. So yeah. This one's been hard for me to find on my own, but yeah.
Do you want to know how I got batch 8?
Ooh, you emailed the president of Sazerac.
No, that'd be cool though. It was the beginning of COVID. 'Tis the beginning of COVID. And no, it might have been batch 7. I think it was batch 7.
Yeah.
'Tis the beginning of COVID.
Went all through
And
the
there was a
house.
bar in Tempe. Technically, it was like right on the border of Tempe and Chandler. And I went to this bar once or twice before COVID. And I saw that, and I follow them on Instagram or something. I don't even think they're a bar anymore. It was Copper something. Copper was in the name, but it was like right on the southern border.
Old-fashioned Copper, yeah.
That'd be cool. And they said, hey, since we can't serve you in our restaurant, we're going to sell these bottles one at a time. And I was on top of it. And I was like, I see EHTBP Barrel Proof. Boom, boom, check out, boom. And I was able to pick it up for, I want to say like $100.
So were you online? Your process, your boom, boom checkout sounds like you were online.
Yeah, because you had to like reserve basically the bottles. And I didn't even bother with any other bottles. I'm like, I need something good. And that was the first thing I saw that was like great. And I bought it so that I didn't like, you know how it goes with some of these.
Yeah.
Like,
what else
example,
do I want
Russell's
to put in
Reserve.
my cart? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was very excited to be able to get that one.
Yeah. Nice.
But I haven't gotten one since. That's the only one I've ever gotten, in fact.
Just the other day. Well, so I said I wasn't lucky, but the other day I happened to refresh that gas station webpage at the right time, and they had that bundle up that I told Wayne about. So Wayne got one, but I was like, I'm not going to do it because I don't like need one, you know?
Yeah.
And so anyway, I didn't buy one at that time, but I guess if I didn't own one already, I totally would have bought myself one at the time.
Yeah. No, that's cool. What was it again? What was the big one of the bundle?
It was EHTBP Barrel Proof.
And then gotcha. And then there was like Michter's, right?
4 base Shelfer Michter's products.
Yeah.
And the whole 5 bottle package was $200.
That's almost worth it. Yeah.
I know. Well, honestly, it's like I didn't calculate out MSRP of the other Michter's because I didn't care that much. But it honestly seems like MSRP all 5 bottles.
Yeah, for sure. It's got a cool tube, like I said, and it is very rare. You know, it's allocated, that's for sure. Highly sought after.
Yeah, it doesn't help that
it's great. Yeah,
released once a year, basically.
Yeah, and it's Buffalo Trace special edition from Buffalo Trace. It's hard to find.
Right. Yeah. Not only is it
anything
allocated,
from Buffalo Trace. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you know, Stag is allocated, but it drops, you know, several times throughout the year. So you've always got a chance at any given time. But it's like if you miss the time that E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof drops, you're toast for 11 more months.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're drinking today, batch 13, 2024 release, mash bill number 1, has always been the case. Low rye bourbon recipe. Proof, like I said, is 127.3, tied for the second lowest. No age statement, but is assumed to be 6 to 8 years. I'm curious why there aren't bigger batches of E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof, because it, like I said, it's basically barrel proof Buffalo Trace.
Right. Artificial scarcity.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past Double George Very Stag's distillery.
Well, did you hear they recently dropped Saz 18 and
in the gift
something
shop
else? Yeah, in the gift shop, like within the last couple days. There was some other BTAC. I can't remember which one it was. I don't want to say Eagle Rare 17 because I don't want to be wrong, but it was.
I don't want to be sad.
They did some BTAC, and then literally the next day it was Saz 18, and it didn't sell out till 9:30. I don't know how long the line is, so I don't know if it was like you had to be in line by 6 a.m. in order to check out by 9:30. But anyway, apparently
I doubt it.
They've been dropping BTACs. Oh yeah, and not only that, it was Saz 18 from like 2019. Yeah. So what are you doing with all these Saz 18s, man?
Seriously. Was that the batch? It was probably no, I think the batch ended at 2018.
I think it ended 2015. I'm not 100% sure on that.
I don't know. But Here's a question, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Frankfurt is 9 hours from me. Would you drive 9 hours if you knew you were getting a B-Tech?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
Because
if it were Eagle Rare 17, maybe.
It's not 9 hours. It's 18 hours because you got to get home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Might as well fly.
Right. If you could make a whole trip out of it, then yeah. But if you were just going to pick up a bottle and then come back, my life is worth paying $1,100 on secondary for one and being able to not leave home.
Yeah. And retail on EHTBP, surprising. It's about $80, but good luck finding it for that. And that's what's secondary on this John piece.
So interestingly enough, before batch 13, secondary on E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof was, I want to say, like 350, 400. Okay. It was always up there. But then, everything's been kind of coming down because availability's been going up. And so not only have prices been coming down, but I think this is like the biggest batch yet. And that might just be hearsay. But secondary on this now is like 250, 275.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it is becoming a little more obtainable now.
All right. I'm pouring it out. Give me that cork pop, baby.
Here we go.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Here's the thing, man. I was drinking Buffalo Trace just a moment ago. And before even we started recording, I was drinking it. And I'm like, dude, Buffalo Trace is for me. Mash Bill number 1 and 2 are for me. And I find it funny how, like, it's rare to find a Buffalo Trace whiskey that I don't like.
We know you like Dem apples.
Oh, I like Dem apples. But the question is, how do I like Dem apples?
And that's what we're here today to find out.
That's what we're here to find out. All right. Let's give us some notes. How much do I like this?
I agree with your almost instant exhale
cough
after sniffing too sharply. There's potency here, there's peppery here, but there's it's a light pepper on top of a lot of classic bourbon notes down here. I think if I let this sit for 20 minutes, I think that'll all go away and it would be juicy, fruity bourbon notes.
I agree with that. Might have just been the fresh pour. Not as aptly on the nose as I was thinking it might be, as like Buffalo Trace or Eagle Rare might be, but I have a feeling we'll surpass that. But the nose is not the best. It's not bad. It's just not like if I gave this a score, like, what's his name? Like homeboy.
Matt Porter.
No. What's the Scottish guy?
William Wallace.
No. John's yelling at his car radio right now. No, what's his name? Not Richard Patterson. Oh, what the crap. I hate this. All right. The big reviewer that got canceled a few years back. He would do
the guy who writes the book.
Murray.
Yeah.
Jim Murray. So he would do 25 points maximum for the nose, 25 points maximum for the palate, 25 points maximum for the finish, and then an overall 25 points adding up to 100. If I were to give this a rating on the nose, it would be like a 20, maybe even less.
That's pretty good though. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I mean 20 out of 25 is
still good.
Is up there.
Yeah. But like a killer whiskey is going to be like a 24 for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking along the 20 route, but the way that you were talking about it, I was like, oh man, he's going to be well below that. I think this nose is actually pretty good. I think what I'm getting the most is stewed fruits, like fermented, funky stewed fruits.
Funky.
And that's even relative to the other E.H. Taylor batches that I have up here too. I think that this one is the most funky fruit and oak of the other ones.
This on the palate, from what I've drank it, is still got some apple, but it's like sharp. It's almost sour apple. It is not baking apples. It is fresh Granny Smith as opposed to like softer, sweeter, but it's appley. But it's sharp. The proof is hitting me hard on this guy.
Totally agree. And it really, the sharpness of the proof and the heat really hangs out on the finish. I'm having to like not talk too much or else it's going to like sting my mouth too much.
Surprisingly. Yeah.
There's a good creamy caramel layer in here too, along with the fruit. Like it's hitting on a couple different levels for me. So it's already scoring pretty well. I just, you know what? Maybe water is going to really do this some favors because of that sharpness. But so far I like there's a little more fruit presence on the nose than the palate. So I do kind of wish that more of that fruit came through on the palate, but there's a good amount. There's a surprising amount of oak here and funky fruits.
Yeah. I'm still just getting like sharp fruit notes. I'm not getting so much funky, but I respect that. I did just add a little water. Maybe.
I really liked your sour apple note because it does attack the corners of your mouth like something sour.
Yeah. It's definitely not the typical baking apples that I get from Buffalo Trace. But it's also not the same notes I get from the weeded recipe bourbon from Buffalo Trace.
Just took a
which
sip.
I typically get green apples from, but it's much more of a sweet candy green apples as opposed to like actual like sour Granny Smith type apples.
I think the sweet candy apple is more in line with batch 10. Batch 10 is not nearly as like sharp as we've been saying. And it's much more like ripe, fresh fruit. Not nearly as much oak and caramely as batch 13 though.
Overall, is a good word.
I think I'm liking batch 13 over 10. Let me take a sip of 12 real quick here.
So as you said caramel, I thought of like a caramel apple with the ice pour, or no, I'm sorry, the water pour that I just sipped, and that really fits like a caramel Granny Smith apple. I dig it. It is really good.
Nice.
And yeah, I think I actually prefer the water pour, a few drops. Not always the case with a bourbon, but it's good.
Nice. Yeah. I will say now also about batch 12. Batch 12 comes across the hottest, the burniest, the most potent.
Feel the burn.
Burniest is an apt descriptor here. Yeah, I think it is the least complex. Batch 12 is the least complex and just the most like, I'm just here to drink barrel proof whiskey.
Yeah. Let that be a lesson, people that love hotter things. Sometimes it's not always better.
That's true. Hazmat burn your face off whiskey.
You know, both of us have a favorite whiskey of all time. Best whiskey of all time, rather. And they're both 100 proof. You ever think about that?
Ooh.
Listener, viewer, you ever think about that?
I was going to say, I think about my favorite whiskey every day.
Me too. And then I think about my favorite whiskey every day too.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. I should think about yours more often. Yeah. I think
once I crack that John piece.
Yeah. Then I can think about it every day. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The water pour is great. The water pour really softened the sharp edges.
Nice.
So yeah,
I agree.
I think water's a little better than neat.
Just a few drops, baby.
Yeah, I
agree. Softer is a really great quality about this.
Had a decent amount in here. I went 4 drops in
Makes sense.
Maybe 0.75 ounce.
Yeah. Yeah, I did probably the equivalent. I had a little less, but I did 3 drops. Maybe 75% of 0.75. Do that math real quick, everyone.
Whatever that is. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's got to be between 0.5 and 0.64. So let's say 0.57.
I am pouring
I wonder. I got to do the math now.
Yeah,
find out how close I was.
I knew you couldn't let it go.
0.75 squared. 0.56. I was close.
Oh, I should have guessed. I didn't. I should have just thrown a number out just in case. Because if I was right, then you'd owe me my favorite whiskey of all time.
That's true. Yeah. Favorite or best? Because do you have a difference? Is your favorite whiskey different than your best? That should be a whiskey would you choose one day.
Yeah.
Is your favorite whiskey different from the best whiskey you've ever had?
The answer is undoubtedly yes. Because I really take sentimental value into I weight sentimental value very highly. I get attached. Yeah.
I do too, but that's why they're different. If you think about it.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I mean for me too. Yeah.
Oh, you are separate. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite then?
I'll have to think about it. I don't know. Because best of all time, I guess, since we didn't explicitly say this episode, is Parker's Heritage 24-year bottled and bond.
Best of all time, you say? No.
Yep. That's what you got me for my birthday.
Exactly. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Insane. I just took a ice sip though. Are you on ice?
No, but I'm about to be.
Fire in the hole over there.
Yeah, seriously.
The nose is very, very sweet candy with ice. And the palate viscosity holds up really well to ice.
Okay. That's good to hear.
It's still got plenty of thick caramely tasting notes. It's still got plenty of oak, but I guess on the palate, zero fruit with ice. It's all, it's all just kind of deep dark.
The first thing I noticed is that it's colder in my hand. And there's more friggin' whiskey in my hand now.
Wow. Yeah. No, mine's way hotter. I don't know what's going on with your thermodynamic properties over there, but yeah, on this side of the
thermal fluid dynamics over there.
Yeah.
You ever take that class in college?
Oh, dude, thermodynamics was my worst college class of my entire.
That's what I hear. It's like a make or break, even for the engineers. Like it's just a hard class. Yeah.
It was not required for my degree. Like, it was required for my degree because you had to take the intro of all the other engineering disciplines in order to graduate from the engineering school. But like, it was not like necessary for my degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I probably didn't take it very seriously from the start, but I, with as hard as I did try, I could not wrap my head around any of that. And that was the class. I almost got a D, but the whole class was curved. It came down to scoop up my 68 into the C category. So I passed.
C's, baby. You know what they say, having fun isn't hard if you've got a library card. No, but they also say C's get degrees. So that was my undergrad experience.
So you had thermodynamics too?
No. I'll tell you what though, I got on my first exam for partial differential equations, I got a 28% on that first exam of the semester.
Yeah, but like did everyone get a 28%?
I don't know, but I ended that semester with a C-, and that's passing. So
right. Yeah.
What was I saying? Anyway, yeah. You know what they say?
Something about whiskey.
Thermodynamics. Yeah, great nose. Great.
You know what they say on The Simpsons? Lisa, in this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
Yeah. You ever watch Family Guy?
Yeah, I probably watched all of like season 1 and maybe 2, but then I just like dropped off.
I'm the same way. It was like early on, I was a big fan, but I always think about this one scene where they're like, they always make fun of Meg, and Bryan starts getting made fun of. And they're like, ha, Bryan's the new Meg. Yeah, you're the new Meg. And then Meg's like, hey, you're the new me. And then Peter's like, shut up, Meg. I don't know why that went through my mind. Have no idea how it relates to anything, but that got through my brain just a moment ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell me about the ice pour.
Might be the best.
So, okay. I'll asterisk that. I kind of agree. I don't think that it's the best. I don't think that it's the best, but it is the tastiest. Like, it is definitely delicious. I think the nose is all candy nose, and then the palate is very, very syrupy, sugary, but it's not, you don't get fruit and you don't get oak and you don't get much.
I get fruit.
It's kind of muddled for me on the palate with ice, but it is just like delicious at least.
Yeah. No, it's impressive how good it is with ice. I am getting fruitiness. I only added like a small little cube, but I feel like if I added a big cube, it wouldn't be great. Love it. Second best. I do think the water pour is the best.
Yeah.
And the ice pour beats the neat pour. But I dig it. I dig it. Beat the neat, baby. So yeah, I've been saying baby a lot this episode.
Really? I hadn't noticed. Maybe we need a baby counter.
At least 4 times this episode. Yeah, Bryce will do the counting. Bryce will be like, yes, 4 babies. Yeah.
4 babies and 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Our
ratings.
Country was born on whiskey.
What do you think about rating?
This is a good pour. This isn't a phenomenal pour. I do put this past a 9, but I'm going to give it a solid 9.1. A minus on this John piece.
Nice. Yeah, I think I'm B plus. I'm right there with you.
Nice.
I think that this is above average. I think that it's actually well above average. Nice. Because not every barrel proof bourbon that I drink has this much fruity, bright fruity, funky.
Oh yeah.
And it's hitting multiple levels. It's hitting the fruity, it's hitting the caramely, it's hitting the oaky, all at the same time in great balance. So, man, actually, I'm tempted to go A minus now too. I think I talked myself up a little bit. The A category is extremely solid, well-rounded. No substantial negative comment can be made.
That's it. That's what you're drinking.
We mentioned the sharpness of the ABV heat and everything, which might not be as apparent anymore now that we added water to
ice in it and water in it.
Drinking a little more. So, okay, I'll hold to B plus. This clearly stands out, and really, it's well above average. B plus.
Nice. I love that. And now that we've given our ratings, take note, listener, viewer. But now we got to send it to our next segment of the show called Whiskey World News.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Whiskey World News, and now here today I have a web page up in front of me, and this web page,
the old web page
URL goes a little something like milamandgreenewhiskey.com. That is
I always thought it was Milam Greene. Do you know about that?
No, I do not know about that.
Do you know who's the distiller of Milam Greene?
I don't. Do you?
Heather Green, and she's a baller. Maybe one day we'll have her on the podcast. I wouldn't doubt that we could pull that off.
Put it past
She's
you.
awesome.
Wouldn't put it past you. Nice.
You ever look her up? She's like, I mean, when you get a moment, look up Heather Green, and she is cool. Like, I would love to have her on the podcast. Yeah.
I'm looking right now.
Bryan, looking her up. She's like, you've probably seen her before. Do you see the picture of her?
I do. I don't think I've ever seen her before. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you haven't seen her before, but she's cool. She's been around for a while, and she does a lot of cool stuff. And her recent company is Milam Greene.
No. Milam sounds way better. We're gonna go Milam Greene. Okay. So today, now here, this webpage, we're just gonna chop all that, edit all that out. That's not gonna make the episode. Today I've got milamandgreenewhiskey.com, and they have produced a new interesting product. And here they say it's called The Answer Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 2 states, 1 bourbon, a 5-year flavor experiment.
Love it.
So reading this now, it says, experience the groundbreaking results of the first ever side-by-side bourbon aging study, Kentucky versus Texas. We took a single distillate, split it in two. So right off the still, they split it into two halves. They aged it under identical conditions except for one, the climate. One, which is like huge. Identical conditions.
It's enormous, yeah.
Yeah. One half matured in the traditional rick houses of Bardstown, Kentucky. The other braved the bold, wild climate of Blanco, Texas. I don't even know where that is.
Blanco.
Yeah, Blanco, Texas. Over 5 years, we tracked every detail from flavor evolution to proof to uncover how each environment truly shapes the spirit. Now, for the first time, you, dear listener, can taste the science behind the flavor. Same bourbon, different climates, remarkably different results. You can buy it online too. What do you think about this experiment, though?
That is one of the greatest experiments you can do in today's bourbon world, in my opinion. Because, like, I think about it, it's like you look at companies like 13th Colony, you look at companies like Still Austin, you look at companies like Del Bach. These companies are aging quite a bit less in the South of the United States than somewhere like Kentucky. And they're not usually they're not they don't have this idea or this taste of youthful for the Southern whiskeys. I think this is an amazing, I think we should probably buy this because I bet you there's a strong difference in the experiment from Kentucky to Texas. So good for them for making that move because
I know, right?
Yeah, like, I think someone had to.
No one's logistically going through jumping through those hoops, to split it
Heather
off,
Greene, baby.
have to move it to a whole other state entirely. Like, no one's doing that. So yeah, that was a really cool thing. It is available online, and still, as of recording this, it is $150 for two 375s.
That's one 750 if you think about it.
Equivalent volume to one 750 bottle for $150, but half of that was aged in Texas and half was aged in Kentucky. It is purchasable on the Milam Greene whiskey shop online.
Are you going to buy it?
No, I'm not. There's a time in my life when I would have bought this instantly because I love the science experiment. I love the idea behind this. But I'm just like, I want to try it. Yeah. This would be instant purchase for me if I could purchase a 50 ml bottle of each of these for like $40 or whatever, $30.
Yeah. So what I have to say about this is that I am now filling out their online request form to get one Heather Greene up in here, and then two, get that samples sent to us.
Nice, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So,
dude, actually, I can't believe I almost didn't say this. Difference in the proof. As you would expect, the proofs are different. But listen to how different they are.
Yeah.
Kentucky 54.15%, Texas 58.65. It's over
4 points, everyone. That's
8. I was talking percents, my man.
Percentages. That's 8 proof points, baby.
There you go.
Yeah. So I love whiskey experimentation, and this is front and center, like the latest thing that I would love to do. So yeah, Heather Greene, we're gonna have you on. And nice. Dude, I don't want this to sound weird, but I love whiskey women. Like, they are talented women.
Gotta represent.
Yeah. And yeah, I love women named Heather too, as my wife.
I know, that's where I thought you were going with this. Yeah.
It's a
All right.
double whammy, everyone. So yeah,
Well,
let's
let's
scooch it on over to our next segment. What whiskey would you choose? We have last
yeah,
week's results
we
available.
we do.
Yeah.
Last week we asked you, first off, between Cole's and my choices. I said, you just mowed the lawn. What
Just hold on.
bottle are you reaching for? As soon as you get back in the house, it's a hot summer day. You're probably a little sweaty. Which bottle are you reaching for? A Redbreast 12 cask strength or Old Forester 100 proof rye? And you won, sir. You won.
Barely.
Yeah,
Barely.
more of our listenership is reaching for that Redbreast 12 cask strength, 56% to 44% on my Old Forester 100 proof rye.
Nice.
That was a good call. Good call there. We got some good
Thanks.
write-ins though. We got the
We
mouth,
did.
Cody Clark 88. He says
Hey-o.
10 cup 14er or Michter's rye. Now actually 10 cup 14er, that's that's an annual release, right? That's at Total Wine right now.
I want to say it's a biannual, like it's twice a year.
Oh,
Because
okay,
they're
okay.
on like batch 5 or 6 by now. Yeah.
I very rarely see that, and I feel like it's
Mhm.
been more than 6 months. Maybe I haven't kept an eye out, but I saw it on the shelf at Total Wine for the first time in forever, and I was like,
They do
"Hey,
good stuff.
they
That's
do,
what
they
I
do."
have on my shelf right now. I don't have a 10-year currently, but I have the 14er. It's good.
Nice.
It's good.
Nice. Next write in from Marco in driving to Colorado as of
Literally
tomorrow.
this week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. I reached out, and asked him what was going on, and he said on Friday he has his last day of work, and then they hop in the
Yeah.
car and they drive away.
That's cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
talked to him today too, and he said, yeah,
nice.
tomorrow's the day.
Nice. He says Kilbrin. This is new to me. I haven't heard of this one.
Yeah, I never
Kilbrin
heard of it.
Irish whiskey, charred cask, Total Wines Jameson
Mhm.
Black Barrel, but at 100 proof. Interesting. Interesting. But Irish, of course. Great summertime sipper.
Yeah.
Whiskey with Max says Penelope Rose. We pulled that on the reentry buzz recently.
Wasn't strong about it. Wasn't
I know.
loving
Yeah.
it.
I don't think we
Yeah.
liked it very much. Yeah. But hey, you never know.
You never
Whiskey
know.
Shaman said Ben Holiday bottled in bond. Good Missouri stuff. I like it. And
Yeah.
Marco likes it too.
Yeah, he does.
Whiskey drinking Panda wrote in. So Panda's like early
Love
times
that guy.
bottled in bond on a hot summer day in Panda Town. Kilton 518 Miles Ferguson says an Irish I can put on ice, which is
Any
frankly
Irish.
just about any. Yeah.
Yeah.
Madtown marketer here. He says Nika from the
So
barrel
let's
on
just
page
say
3.
this. Madtown Marketer wasn't the only one who said this. There were
Yeah.
3 people that said this within our first 4 responses.
Oh my gosh, that's so great. Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
finally looking through these now, I see. We got Madtown marketer Ben Klepsick, Nika from the barrel and a big ice cube. We got Bro
Yeah.
Aska Testwasa, Nika from the barrel with an
Mhm.
ice cube. Got everything you need. And
Yeah.
Paul Clarkson, he wrote in and said Nika from the barrel with ice. All of them. Nika with
Yep.
ice. I love it. And then lastly here, Connor Whiskey. Connor says
Heyo.
the War Chief. I like this
Which
sounds
is
very
his
familiar.
brand.
Oh, that's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I'm Googling now. War Chief whiskey. The War
Yeah.
Chief bourbon whiskey.
It's
McTavish Spirits.
McTavish. Yeah, he's the CEO of McTavish now.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's him on this splash screen.
Gotta
right
check it
here.
out. Get you a
Yeah.
War Chief, everyone.
Love
They're
it.
selling in other states now.
All right. We have
So what's
a
this question this week?
terrible question for you here.
But we
We're
hope to
gonna-
get some great responses.
I know. Yeah. Definitely want to hear what all y'all have to say about this. But the question this week is if you had the power, what whiskey brand would you wipe off the face of the planet?
So the first thing that came to my mind was 2 things. Was a really bad whiskey I had from Black Maple Hill, but I wouldn't wipe them out from the face of the planet because they have older releases that are like selling for like thousands of dollars right now. So like when they got rebought, they started to suck. But I wouldn't wipe them out from the face of the earth. Another one that came to mind was Few, one of the worst whiskeys I've had, but that was literally like 10 years ago that I had a really bad whiskey from Few. So I can't claim that they're not better now. So what comes to mind is a brand I like to call Floki from Iceland.
No, it's right
and even though they're putting on cool things, they're maybe should stay out of the whiskey world. Because I haven't liked anything that came from. I didn't mind too much the sheep dung smoked whiskey, but their birch smoked whiskey was crap.
Yeah,
which was more crap than a dung smoked whiskey, which is funny if you think about it.
Yeah, there was a heavy permanent marker on the birch finish. You're not wrong about that. I'm gonna go with everyone's favorite right here.
Ew.
Good times.
Good
times.
Give me that pineapple whiskey, baby.
Whiskey. Yeah. Okay. What? You all don't want some double oak cherry pineapple? Non-chill filtered.
You all don't want whiskey that they have to hide behind cherries and pineapples and stuff?
Whiskey finished in new char number 5 oak barrels, cherry brandy casks, and pineapple brandy casks. How about that?
Dude,
yeah,
I would drink pineapple brandy 10 times before I drank Good Times.
Right? Yeah. That actually sounds pretty good. I knew this was a meme whiskey, but one day I was like, I have to actually try it. And they had this double oak cherry pineapple. I was like, come on, like Sam loves pineapple.
Not only
cherry
did they
pineapple
finish it
sounds
in 2
great.
other barrels, they double oaked it again.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, I tried it. It's terrible. It's just as bad as you think it would be, man. It's just like, you know how people say that you can cover up bad whiskey with finishes? Well, imagine how bad your whiskey can be if you finish it like 4 times.
Yeah.
What you can get away with buying barrels of. So, it's just not great. Yeah.
What I love is that one of my favorite, used to be much more active, but one of my favorite channels on Instagram was You Would Hate It. And they would make fun they would do a lot of memes on whiskey.
Yeah.
And they stopped Good Times, blocked You Would Hate It because of so many jokes towards them.
Love it.
So I thought that was funny.
Well, keep an eye out. Think of your most hated whiskey brands. Expect you to write in
from the face of this planet.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear what everyone hates. We're negative this week.
Yeah, but like, don't feel bad, John Hughes. I feel like John Hughes would be like, everyone's trying hard. Write in, John Hughes. We expect your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and we're not gonna tag Good Times or Floki on this post. So just put it in. Just say what you want. Yeah, do what you need. All right.
It's a story on Instagram. It's a story on Instagram. It goes away in 24 hours.
It goes away. Everyone, it's gone. I hope the pizza that I pick up in 15 minutes is delicious.
What is it? Marco's? Is that it?
Yeah, baby. Yeah, that's like the 7th or 8th time I've said baby this episode.
We got him again. Yeah, we got him.
Got him.
Well, I hope everyone enjoys when we drink William LaRue Weller 2023 next week.
That's right. I hope that too. And I hope for some random way your wife or something finds you a bottle of your favorite or best whiskey this birthday.
Dude, I hope so too. But I hope she pays a normal price for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like $100 or something like that. So
totally normal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the retail was about $150 max for that.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. Back in 2016. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Back in the old days. Dude, you got into whiskey when again? When what year?
Oh, 2020. It was COVID for sure. Yeah.
Dude, I was a 2015 addition to the scene, and I'm only 34 right now. So
crazy.
What are you turning this year? 39.
I'm turning 39. Yeah, 39.
Ooh, that's cool. 39 is not prime.
What'd you say? What are you? 34?
35 in July. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I hope I look as good as when I turn 35.
Thank you. Thank you.
But most of all, everyone, I hope that I look as good as our Patreon supporters. But most of all, listeners, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Shut up, Meg.